So let's have a look at the deck that we are looking at now. So this was workshop 70, I think. Yes, this one it is. So the deck we are having at the moment is a Naya deck. So green, red and white, looking to just ramp fast and cheat out a bunch of beefy boys and have fun at the table. Not looking for no combos or oops, I win stuff. Oh yeah, that's what I usually build my decks with, to specifically avoid these stuff, because I also don't like the oops, I just won, maybe we start another game stuff. So, looking for help with my ramp package removal package. Do I have a good number of each, and are there more efficient alternatives? As well as the balance between cheap early game versus getting value out of Mayael's ability. I think it's okay to spot right now for casual play after playtesting a bit, but would definitely like another set of eyes for some more solid opinions. So, let's have a look at the deck. And let's make a copy. Great, the copy worked the first time. So let's have a look. So basically we are looking at a ramp, removal and land package, and I like that he already ordered them, so that's saving me a lot of work actually. Where's my... I'm kind of missing my chat. Oh, there it is. So let's have a look at this, and I think I'm also just chatting another workshop. Okay, so basically let's have a look at the lands first. So we have the Alpine Meadow, which is a mountain plain snowland, which will enter the battlefield tapped. So I like his 37 land, so that's fine, we'll leave it at this. Hello Tricky Zerg, oder Hallo Tricky Zerg, je nachdem ob du Deutsch oder Englisch sprichst. So let's first make a land out category. Basically we want everything that's... I don't know if this is really that bad, because a lot of the okay, so we want to get rid of the guild gate. Let's leave the Alpine Meadow in here. Okay, we have a Canopy Vista, which is also a dual land, which is nice. Okay, we have a shock land here. We have the Commander, which is always great. Evolving Wilds here won't need those. We have forests. We have the Gateway Plaza, way too expensive. We have another guild gate, which no one gonna be using. We got a second Karoo land, so okay, we got a Jungle Shrine that's not going in. We have the Crows and Birch. This is great since it tutors out other lands with basic land types. Mosswhite Bridge is fine. He should have big enough creatures, hopefully. We have mountains. We have the Myriad Landscape, which is fine since it tutors out more. We don't need the Naya Panorama, because he should have enough fixing already. Unless you control a mountain or a forest, that's fine-ish. Okay, so we want to get rid of the guild gate. We want to get rid of at least one Karoo land, and we'll have a look at which one we want to get rid of. So mana cost is the outer and the production is the inner. So at the moment he has, yeah, I think we're getting rid of the red and white one. Okay, we have a, yeah, that's a third Karoo land. We have opponent land or battle land, whatever these lands are called. We have a temple, we won't need a temple. We have another temple, we won't need a temple. And we have a third temple that also comes in tap, we won't need a third temple either. So now, her ability reads 3 mana. Okay, so probably Temple of the False God is fine, but I don't think we actually want that much... Do we want that much colorless mana? It's fine on 37 lands, and with a good amount of green ramp. So what do we want to add? I think we can leave the Alpine Meadow in, since we will play some ramp that tutors out basic land types, which will come untapped. And I will look at a ramped package. So basically, is there anything important that we want to add that's not a basic land? Hey Brandy P, oh, that's your deck as well. I didn't realize that. It just looked like something that wouldn't take too much effort to tune, and so I could do it before going to bed and not staying out on that late, since you only wanted help with ramp, removal, and mana base, so I could ignore most of the cards of the deck while doing something. So yeah, I don't know how long you've been listening, so basically I took out all of the tapped lands and also one of the Karoo lands, since having 3 Karoo lands is usually a bit much in my opinion. So running 3 Karoo lands can really leave you with a hand that's basically a starting hand with 2 Karoo lands or 3 Karoo lands, and that always sucks to have to mulligan because you have too many Karoo lands. Also, having 2 Karoo lands early really slows you down, so you could even think of cutting another Karoo land. So Karoo lands are just, if you're not familiar with the terminology, are the lands that you will need to return another land to your hand. So what we want to add is Rogue's Passage, because while your creatures usually have trample, Rogue's Passage is cheap on the one hand, and it's making your creatures unblockable on the other hand, and you should have more than enough colored mana for this deck, so they shouldn't hurt you too much. We will look at other lands later. I don't know, do you have any fetch lands, maybe? Or are these not in your possession? Because you said you wanted it as cheap as possible, so we'll probably leave it at this land base and just put in more basics, and it should already make your land base a lot better. So let's have a look at the ramp package next. So you are running 2 signets, and I really wouldn't want the Boros signet in this deck, since all you need Boros for is for Mayael. You have some fetches, okay, and you're also not willing to switch, which I can totally understand. I have 3 sets of fetch lands, and I never switch between the decks. Also a measure of mine to keep the power levels lower, to not switch the card between decks. So you're running 2 signets at the moment, you're running all 4 signets, okay. Well, let's see. Okay, so you're running 4 signets, which I will just put into another category so they don't annoy me. Mana stones. So thing with ramp in this deck is, what is your strategy in this deck? So basically turn 1 you want to play a land, and you probably don't have anything else to play. So we could add in the Expedition, I think. Expedition, MTG, is it this one? If it's not too expensive for you, G, play an additional land. Yeah, so we could add this one, Exploration, not Expedition, which would allow you to cast your commander on turn 2 by simply playing 2 lands on turn 1 and then playing 1 or 2 lands on turn 2. But basically, so if you look at your game plan, as you want to get your commandos as quickly as possible, turn 1, you will probably play a land. Turn 2, you'll play a land. And even if you ramp on turn 2, you will still get your commander out on turn 3. So the only way to get your commander out on turn 2 is really soldering into a mana stone. And this is nothing that's really consistent. Even if you play a Llanowar Elves turn 1, unless you play them off a shock land. So like, do you have a shock land in here that's actually 2 or more basic lands? Control a mountain or forest, that won't happen on turn 1. Yeah, so probably you should, if you really want to get her out on turn 2, if you want to get your commander out on turn 2, you should focus on getting some shock lands in here for, or some untapped lands that can create 2 types of mana and one of them green, and maybe more mana dudes. So this would enable you to play her on turn 2. If you do I care to play Mayael if I can tap her the next turn? That's another good question. So we will also need to have a look on when you can play her, when you can tap her the next turn. And that's also a question to the removal in your commander round. So basically, depending on what you do, so she needs 6 mana to activate. Okay, so she's a lot more expensive to activate. I just thought it was 5 mana. So just forget what I just said. Okay, so to activate her with 6 mana, it's actually going to take more of the big ramp, I think. So I think I would either take in more of the mana dudes to get ramp really quickly, and then just skip the 2 mana ramp and move straight to the 3 mana ramp. So basically you try to play a turn 1 mana dude then, and I think there are 5, 6, 7 available quite cheaply for you, so you should get them reliably. And then play another ramp spell on turn 2. So basically a 3 mana ramp spell on turn 2, which should usually get you 2 lands. And that would allow you to be on 5 mana on turn 3, and this would allow you to play her on curve on turn 4. Wait, 5 mana on turn 3. You could play her on turn 3 and then activate her on turn 4. So this would be the most ideal situation if you want all or nothing. Otherwise, you could go with just the 2 mana ramp and then the 4 mana ramp. So basically it's 1 and 3 or 2 and 4 mana ramp, which you want to look at here. And this is again a meta call on whether mana dudes are getting removed in your meta. So let's just make 2 separate ramp packages, I think. For this. And let's make the... okay, I will need to look up all the green mana ramp cards. So basically, let's have... how do we do this? How do I do this best? Okay, so let's just rename this to 1+3 ramp, which is risky but faster. And we will also have 2+4 ramp. And we can just rename the mana stones to 2+4 ramp. So you have 15 ramp cards at the moment, so I'll try to just keep it at 15 cards for ramping. And Zollring will be in both, so I'll just leave 1 out of the 1+3 ramp. So 1+3 ramp will be Llanowar Elves. We will get rid of this, we will get rid of this, even though it's great. This one gets here at... I think this one will get removed, so yeah, let's just remove this completely. So let's see, we have Kodama's Reach, we have Farseek, we have Cultivate, we have the Farborough Elder. While this is tapping for 2, really, yeah. I don't know, I don't like playing mana dogs on turn 3, I just have to say I don't like playing mana dogs on turn 3. So... basically, let's first have a look at mana dogs. We should add an Ever Since Pilgrim. Also, if you missed this, I like that you already sorted your deck. That is helping out a lot. Ever Since Pilgrim, we have... oh, damn it. I'm not that fit anymore. CMC1 mana dogs. We have the Elvish Mystic. Elvish Mystic. Don't we have a list of all mana dog creatures? That's looking better. Yeah, we could add an Arbor Elf, though this one is a bit... well, you want a forest anyway, so yeah, we'll add an Arbor Elf. We'll just look for about, I think 7 1-mana creatures, if we can get to that number, without having any too expensive cards. Birds of Paradise. So Birds of Paradise, I don't know what's the price of this card. Birds of Paradise. So yeah, you can have it for, I think, 3 or 2 euros maybe. Unless you want to get an Alpha 1 and you can just spend 3,000 euros on it, that's fine too, I guess. Birds of Paradise. What else can we add? Yeah, the Bloom Tender will probably not do it. The Boreal Druid. Well, the Boreal Druid yeah, we don't need the colored mana for this strategy. So we can go for the Boreal Druid here. Oh, is this one really that expensive? Boreal Druid? No, it's 2 cents. I don't get American prices. I really don't get them. Okay, why did you... Converted cost, perfect. So Dried Arbor, yeah, we don't want a Dried Arbor in here. Birds of Paradise, Blister Pot, Boreal Druid, Findhorn Elves, right, those ones. Findhorn Elves. Yeah, with February is probably only ever taps for 2, not a lot. Yeah, that's exactly why I didn't include him. He's probably just tapping for 2, especially when you want to use him. So until your commander is there. I'm betting you will not be able to spend mana on money on Noble Hierarchy. Wait, Noble Hierarchy is banned. Just forgot what I said. Noble Hierarchy is not your colors. Makers of the Candelabra. Noble Hierarchy is not your color. I mean, it's... If we don't find anything else, we just get this one. Yeah, okay, so I think we should have... Yeah, we have 7 mana dogs right now. And now we want to get to Scryfall. Advanced search. We want not text. Search, library, land, play. We wanted to have a CMC of mana value equal to 3. And we want it to be in the commander colors of black, white and green. Ich soll in WhatsApp gucken. Hallo. Geht gerade nicht, mein Handy ist aus. Du kannst mir ein Signal schreiben, das kommt auch an, wenn ich nicht das Handy anhabe. Ansonsten eine E-Mail. Aber Handy habe ich gerade keine Ahnung, wo es ist und es hat keinen Strom. Also 2 Hindernisse. Would you consider Wild Growth a good 1 mana? Let me just look up Wild Growth again, but I think I totally forgot this. Wild Growth. Yeah, Wild Growth is completely fine. We can actually add a Wild Growth here. That one just skipped my mind. So let's add a Wild Growth here. So now, I somehow messed up my search because this is not showing what I wanted it to show. This is not showing what I wanted it to show at all. So again, it has these colors. Mana value equal to 3. Search, library, land, put. That's looking much better. Okay, so what do we have? Beneath the Sands. Search your library for a basic land, put it into the battlefield tab, then shuffle your library. Yeah, that's not going to do us. Archaeomancer's map. So this one is quite expensive. Also, that's not going to happen with this deck. What do we want to add here for 3 mana ramp? Choose an opponent who controls more lands and you're not gonna happen. Calderwood is already in there. Could go for a Farhaven Elf, even though it's not that great. I think, yeah, we want to have Harrow. Basic land, put on the shuffle your library. If spell was kicked, search for 2 basic lands. So yeah, this one is not good, but put it into the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library, put a 0/1. Oh, this one is quite nice. This one is quite nice. Journey for a search level for graveyard. Nimmt Jing Yan, you will reveal for the judge. Yeah. Why? For basic land and a card, okay. To 2 basic lands, put them into your hand and shuffle your library, or you may play up to 2 basic lands this turn. So if you start with a lot of basic lands, this could be interesting, the journey of discovery, but I don't think it is going to make it. Now, if you are playing a lot of special lands, you can get the Light of the Reliquary later, but at the moment it doesn't look like you're playing a lot of special lands, so we'll just leave this one out. Okay, so this one is an instant, which is nice, so you can just play it as a surprise. Yeah, you can use this one later, so let's go this. So we can go with Primal Growth if you have a mana dog, that shouldn't be a problem. So Enrage whenever, no, this one is not going to do it. Ramps Uncharted is also not what you're looking for. This one is again interesting since it has an Aftermath, and the Aftermath is, yeah, let's just put this one in. This is doubling as removal. Okay, this one is also again searching for 2 lands. Ja, ich hab's gerade schon gelesen. Eigentlich hatte ich darauf auch schon geantwortet, war wahrscheinlich das Handy leer. What else do we have? I mean, you could also add a Search for Tomorrow, but this one is really only good if you get it in your starting hand. Each opponent, no, that's not what we want. Basic land card. Yeah, so the 3 mana ramp actually is not as good as I had in mind. So we'll probably still take some of the regular lands. So we will add. What do we want to add? So we want to add Harrow because Harrow is just great. Since Harrow in theory allows you to cast even more spells. Since the lands enter untapped. And also you get to search for 2 basic lands, so it's great for color fixing. Grow from the Ashes, you can reuse this later, Growth Spasm. So I think this one is nice too because it grants you access to 2 mana at least once. Since you get an Eldrazi token. And you can also use the Eldrazi token if your opponents use something that will let you sacrifice creatures. Now, the next one we want to add is Primal Growth, because you can just sacrifice your mana dog here. So your mana dog is probably not going to survive for that long anyways. So no real harm in just sacrificing your mana dog and turning him into a basic land. So we'll go for Primal Growth. And we'll also go for Road Ruin. And I think we'll also go for Roiling Regrowth, so it's an instant, so you can play it if someone is targeting your lands with whatever. And you can just sacrifice the land, and also you can again fake not having a spell or just keeping your mana up. So let's just add this to ramp, and I think we said 15 ramp cards, right? So yeah, here would be the 1 and 3 ramp. So this would allow you to basically turn 1, play Mana Dog, turn 2, play another ramp card, probably get a little bit of bonus from it. So on turn 3 you should be on 5 mana, and this would allow you to play your commander on turn 3 and then tap her on turn 4. Obviously Sol Ring would also be added here. Now the other way to go is the 2+4 ramp. Which is basically a little bit slower, but also a little bit more consistent. But yeah, you will be a turn slower with this one. But you will end up with way more value. So that's a call that you are going to make, whether you want to have more consistent ramp. So this one basically fumbles if they remove your mana dogs. And this one is more consistent in case they will remove your mana dock. So in this case, you will want to cut this card because it's not good. So what do we want to have here? Rampant Growth. So we have Rampant Growth here. So again, we probably want to have we probably want to have 7 2 mana and the rest of them 4 mana. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 2 mana already. So we also have Sky Shroud Claim, which I quite like. So let's go for 4 mana spells next. Let's head to Scryfall. And we again want white, red, green. We want the text line search, library, land, play. And we want them to be equal to mana cost 4. Now let's have a look here. Oh, that's not that many cards actually. And somehow something got wrong. So you want to have Pierce Whim. So Pierce Whim doubles as removal again. Basically, for each player you choose friend or foe. And for each player you choose friend. So you obviously choose your own friend and maybe anyone you did politics with. Those players search for a land and put it into play. And just note this is a land, not a basic land, this is a land. So you can get everything, including Strip Mine if you actually run a Strip Mine or whatever special lands you're using. And each foe sacrifices an artifact or enchantment, so this is ramping you and hindering your opponents at the same time. Since you are playing this on turn 3, I also think that I just forgot put. So I'll just go back, but Pierce Whim is already right, so we want to add Pierce Whim. Let me just check if there's another card that instantly springs to mind. Okay, so Nature's Balance is a card that is interesting. You probably wouldn't want to run it, but I just want to point it out because the card is quite funny. Each player controlling 6 or more lands sacrifices enough lands to reduce his or her lands to 5 total. Each player controlling 4 or fewer lands may search his or her library for enough basic lands to bring his or her land total to 5 and put those lands into play. So probably you won't need this since this build doesn't run the mana dock, so you're probably on 4 lands already when you cast it. But this is just a fun card to keep in mind in case you are ever building a fun deck. Now, Temporous Discovery is another interesting card. Temporous Discovery is Tempting Offer, so basically each opponent can choose to search a library for a land and put it into play. And you can do this as well, and for each opponent who chose to do it, you can search your library for a land card. Now note, this is again a land, not a basic land. So what's usually happening if you have a more advanced meta is that everyone is just going to tutor for a Strip Mine, so they can destroy whatever special lands you're bringing in. Now in this case, this is probably ramping you for 4 and your opponents for 1. So this one is also a call that you would now need to make if this is worth it in your meta to actually ramp your opponents for 1 and ramp yourself for 4. Or if your players probably just wouldn't take it and this is just a real bad land, not a real bad ramp spell, since you can get special lands but you don't have that many special lands. So yeah, that's a call that you would need to make. And now I'll just try to fix my Scryfall search. You try that one out. Okay, so this was Temporous Discovery, I think, right? Yes, Temporous Discovery. So this one can be really explosive until your playgroup learns to either board in Strip Mines or just not take the offer. But the issue here is if the first player takes the offer, the second will take the offer, the third will take the offer, and so on. So basically you just need to convince one player to take the offer and the rest will cave in, even though they know it's wrong. You know, it's like with Rhystic Study. As long as no one is playing, as everyone is playing the text, Rhystic Study is not actually that good. But once one player caves in, everyone else is going to cave in because they are not only falling behind you, but also behind the other player. And so yeah, you just need to make one of the players fall. Put play. Yeah. We don't have any card, we don't have any text. We have a mana value equal to 4. Let's just reload the search. So again, this one. Search library. Land. Yeah, search. I know what's the library. Lands. Play. So we actually need multiple lands, obviously. And I think that's also the issue with the research. Oh no, it's lands or is it land cards? Well, we'll have both searches. So again, mana value equal to 4. And let's have a quick look. Okay, so this was definitely not a right search. Destroy all non-basic lands, another great card, by the way. Especially if you have a meta. So again, as probably everyone listening to me regularly now knows, I'm a big fan of non-basic land hate, as a lot of people just run tons of non-basic lands in their mana bases, and even if you run something like From the Ashes, destroy all non-basic lands, and then for each land destroyed, the controller may search his or her library for a basic land. A lot of people just don't run enough basic lands to recover from something like this, and can't actually search for the lands they want to search for. But now did I just miss to click? Yeah, I just didn't click green. That's explaining a lot. Okay, now let's try it with lands. Okay, so what am I doing wrong? Okay, just let me look for the what is a good 4-mana ramp card? I think there's one with Crozen in the name, right? Wrong, apparently. Oh, just name me a good fork. What's a good... What am I searching wrong for? Library for a land card and put it onto the battlefield. Search your... So text is search your library land. Again, we have white, green, and red, and we have mana value equal to 4. That's looking a bit better. So we already had a circuitous route. We already removed this because it would just put 2 basic lands onto the battlefield. Now, which is basically explosive vegetation. Now let me have a look. Sky Shroud Claim. Oh yeah, Sky Shroud Claim is... give me a second. Is it in here? I don't know what I'm doing wrong with the searches right now. Let me just look up the text for Sky Shroud Claim. Sky Shroud Claim. 2 forest cards, right. This one searches for basic land types. So, okay, we already have the Exploding Borders in, I think, right? Let me just have a look here. Didn't I put them in? Could have sworn I put them in. Maybe I just forgot to press. Okay. So Exploding Borders just ramps you for 1, but that's fine. And it's also doubling as removal. So Exploding Borders. What else? Sacrifice 5 lands. Why would you play this? I sometimes love stumbling upon old cards. So you'll have 2 forest cards put onto the battlefield, tapped and shuffle your library. So we could go for the Hunting Wild since it's again 2 forest cards. What else could we go for? Now you probably don't want to destroy lands in your meta from what I got, so we'll probably skip on this one. Search your library for basic land card, put it onto the battlefield, tapped. Nope, that's not going to do it. 2 basic land cards, reveal those cards. Why would you ever play this card? Also not this one. Search library for basic land can put it down. Nope. Escape shift is also not going to do it. This is just a hand. This is also just a hand. I'm really missing out a lot of ramp cards right now. Okay, so I'll probably need to look for something else. So we'll add a Hunting Wild, since it will search you to forest cards, and put them onto the battlefield. And we should have a look. So you CMC for mana ramp. Oh wait, we already have enough cards, I think, right? Yeah, we're already at 14 cards, and I think you only need 14 or 15. But we're a bit low on the CMC 4 mana ramp. So let's look for 1 or 2 more CMC 4 mana ramp cards. Best CMC 4 mana ramp commander, that looks great. Because Explosive Vegetation is just 2 basic lands onto the battlefield tapped. We already are running Skyshot Crane, and I'm really thinking about Ranger's Pass. So again, searching for 2 forests. So we'll add this one. And then we have our 15 ramp cards. So this should probably be fine for the 2 and 4 mana ramp section. So you want to take either of those ramp sections. This one is faster, so this one is a turn faster, but also more risky because your mana dogs can be removed. This one is safer and also a bit more probable to pull off because you draw an extra card before each of your drops. But this is in turn a turn slower. So just decide what you want to do here. So for your removal package, let's just have a look. Angel of Rain, 7 mana, enters the battlefield, exile up to 2 target artifacts and or enchantments. So this is just removal that you get from your commander. This is nothing that you will really play on Curve. Beast Within is great. Gruel Rage Beast is again from your commander, Frozen Grip. Now, are you you already added Nature's Claim. I was just going to recommend this instead of Frozen Grip if you're not facing combo, but I see you already have this one in. Now, Pass to Exile and Swords to Plowshares are both fine. Now, what I'm missing here are board wipes. Probably you want to have at least a couple of red board wipes, I guess. One nice board wipe could be... One board wipe that I basically always run in a red deck is... What's the English name? Deed. Damn it. Oh yeah, this one is also a nice board wipe. Right, oh no, this one is black. Forget what I just said. But a great board wipe card. So if you run a green and black deck, this one is a great board wipe. But that's not what we are searching for. Oh god, the red board wipe that gets cheaper when the more creatures are on the battlefield. Let's just have a look. Now, Blasphemous Act, right, this one. Yes, this one. Blasphemische Tat in German. So this one is a good board wipe. Also, you have... do I remember right that you are playing against artifacts and enchantments? Because if so, I have a very nice card for you. GG1, destroy all enchantments. So there's one great card. I just have to... Give me a second. I need to pull this one out. It's also an old card. I have no idea what's the price on this one. It was really cheap when I bought it. It's super not fair. Your enchantment player is going to hate you. Destroy all enchantments. Typeline is enchantment. And we should be... mana is equal to 3, I think. Search with these options. Damn it. Let's try just destroy. Damn it. Is CMC 2. Here, Tranquil Grove, it's just CMC 2. So a Tranquil Grove is an enchantment, you play it for 2. And basically for 3 you can destroy all other enchantments. So you can just enchantment board wipe everything whenever you like for just 3 mana. So if you're facing a lot of enchantments, this is a really mean card. Especially if your opponents are low on removal. I have no idea what's the cost actually. Tranquil Cove. No, that one's not. What was it called? Tranquil Grove, not Cove. Yeah, it's 20 cents here. So let's see. Yeah, it's basically €1 that you can do it. So yeah, this one would be a recommendation, a possible recommendation for you to go with. Tranquil. Now what you could also do is, there's a green card that, let me just put us to board wipes. So I'm specifically not looking for the most efficient cards necessary, but for the most fun. I think this fits your meta more. So there's another green card. Damn it! What was it? It's a card from Eventide or Morningtide or just that plain. The Great Aurora, I think. The Great Aurora. Now you can't use this card if you're playing against token decks, just to say that. So each player shuffles all cards from his and her hand and all permanents he or she owns into his or her library, then draws that many cards. No, forget it. I just thought it would also put creatures in. Just forget what I said. Just ignore this card. I had the effect wrong. Just ignore the card. Just ignore the card. Now in this case, let's just go with red board wipes, because there are a couple. There's one from a commander set, I think Chain Lightning or something. It's just dealing as much damage as there are creatures in play. Aulus Dust is a nice board wipe, but it's expensive, I think. So just money-wise. Basically, Aulus Dust forces you to sacrifice all... Oh, I know one more nice board wipe. Wave of Vitral. Again, this is not a creature board wipe, but an enchantment board wipe. Each player sacrifices all artifacts and enchantments and all non-basic lands. And for each land destroyed this way, they can search for basic lands. So again, this is forcing your opponents to run more basic lands. And as long as they don't, it will blow them out. Also one of the cards that forced our meta to play more basic lands. But that's not what we are looking for at the moment. Chain Lightning? Maybe? No, that's not the one. Red 4 mana board wipe creatures. Nope, 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 nope. Wait a second. Oh yeah, we wanna give you this card later, so I'll just keep this one on top. This one can also be nice. Let's just keep this one. I think I should have the card in here somewhere. Somewhere-ish. Maybe. If I'm lucky. Which I'm obviously not. Also for this one, if you can afford it, Exploration is a great card. But it's too expensive, so I just left it out. So Exploration is basically, yeah, about 12 euros in Europe. This one is great for basically both RAM packages, since Exploration is just OP. But this is not the one I'm searching for. Austria Command. Oh, why did I forget we are running right? Yeah, we are. Why do I even bother? We are. Thanks, Timmy. I completely blanked here and completely forgot we are running white. So yes, Austria Command is a great board wipe, and basically all the white board wipes. I think since we are running white, just pack in any white board wipes you want. There are too many great white board wipes. Sorry, I completely blanked on this one. I thought we were just I just thought on green and red board wipes. Yeah, basically pack in whatever board wipes you like. Now the last thing we wanted to look at were the lands, right? So I think the removal is actually fine. Yeah, it's not that much spot removal, but you really want to add some board wipes. Yeah, so the removal should be fine. Also, your Warstorm Surge can remove stuff, so you even have some more removal that you didn't even put there. But yeah, your removal should be fine. Now, what I would recommend you to put in here, what you didn't at the moment, is a Worldly Tutor. Let me just pull him up. Worldly Tutor. So Worldly Tutor, even though it's expensive, I have to say that because last time it was in Commander Collection Green, so this got it a little bit cheaper. It was basically never reprinted, as you can see. Searches a library for a creature card, and you put that card on top of your library. So the card on top of your library is then going to be pulled in by Mayael, so you can just get a specific card. Let's say the Wildspine Worm and so on. Also, what's a good amount of board webs? That is really dependent on your meta and the deck. Yeah, had some really good points on the wipes. So yeah, basically, you want more board wipes the slower your games are. Because if you have very fast games, then usually your board wipes won't hit that much. And you also won't get to the mana for the board web, so you're running more efficient removal. If your games tend to last longer and the board tends to get filled up more and more, your board wipes basically gain a lot more efficiency. The other thing is whether or not your board wipes wipe your own board as well. So for Timmy's deck, as an example, there were a lot of one-sided board wipes that just would wipe the opponent's boards, but not your own. So yeah, basically somewhere between 3 and 7, I'd say, for most of the decks. Yeah, so top of the deck tutors are great if your commander cares for the top of your deck. So just 1 mana more and get whatever you need in that situation. That is quite nice. Anything on the creatures? Is there anything I'm seeing? Yeah, basically you just pack in whichever big creatures you like and can afford. Yeah, it's fine. Now, yeah, we wanted to have a look at the lands. Or do you have any more questions to removal or the RAM packages? So I usually prefer tuning Johnny decks, I think. So basically decks that have interesting interactions. I don't really enjoy creatures all that much, unless I can blink them or get value out of them in other ways. And usually more the types that lean to the control-y or engine building stuff. So I think usually engine building it is. I really like decks that build up an engine and then just generate more and more and more and more value to win you the game. So I don't really like aggro decks. I'm horrible at aggro decks in Commander as well as in regular Magic. Aggro decks is the only thing that I really can't play. So in regular Magic, I would prefer control decks, but I already realized that in Commander, to really play a control deck, you either need very specific commanders or you need to go stacks, and people usually don't like this. Spell decks are also something. So Spellslingers, yeah, I built some Spellslinger decks. Now for control decks, I really liked Dragonclaw, I think. Is that her name? Yeah, so this one. So this one was one of my more janky control decks. So Jazuba Dragonclaw is 4/2. So, and she has an ability at the beginning of your combat. You can pay 3 mana, and if you do, you gain control of a creature an opponent controls that has power less power than she has. So basically, you'll buffer up, steal your opponent's creatures, and then have a lot of sacrifice outlets or just stuff that lets you keep the permanents that you actually stole. So something like Goblin Bazaar. So this one here, Goblin Bazaar Trader. Target player gains control of target artifact, creature, or land you control. So basically you can take control of the opponent's creature, then tap this guy and say, okay, I control this creature, and now I gain control of my own creature that I currently control, and you don't need to give it back at the end of the turn. Same with Conjurer's Closet and so on. So this was one of the control decks that I run that was a bit more janky, but actually quite successful. And then it also ran a lot of sack outlets. So, and yeah, so if you want to have a look at your spell deck, sure, I'll do that, but I won't do it before I go to sleep, because now I just take a look at the land base, and once I'm done with the land base, I will probably head to bed. So at the moment, you have the ability to search for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 4, 11. Okay, so 11 cards, 2, 4, so 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, so we'll probably at least want 13 basic swamps, basic forests. Now, are there any double mana costs that are not green? Yes, there are. Okay, so we will add 3 mountains and 3 plains. These numbers are actually fine. Now, can you afford any... Oh, wait, let's just go for... Let's just go for another Scryfall search, because we will want to have a look at specific lands right now. We want to have a land, and that is a mountain, and that is also a forest. Yeah, it is a forest, obviously. I didn't want a forest, I wanted a forest. Thank you very much. Now, can you afford any of those lands? Or do you already have any of those lands? Perfect would be Stomping Grounds, obviously. And I think Highland Forest is already in there, and I think Cinderglade as well. You won't be able to... So basically the question is, can you afford Stomping Grounds? And also, Timmy, my problem with aggro decks is not so much building them as piloting them, since I really can't get my head around just attacking with creatures to kill my opponent. I always want to get more value and looking for the most efficient trades and so on. So if you have Stomping Grounds, add Stomping Grounds. And now we want to make the same search for plains. So again, what I always say when I tune decks, if you go over budget, do it with the lands, since you will be able to reuse all the lands in other decks. So all the cards that just go into one specific deck, you don't want to spend too much money on them. But if you want to spend money, always spend it on the lands. So let's just do one Stomping Grounds here. Now we also have the Arctic Tree Line, right? Yes, Forest Plains. Arctic Tree Line also shouldn't be too expensive, and it's not that bad if it's entering tapped. Canopy Vista, is this already in here? Yeah, Canopy Vista is already in here. So you probably won't be able to afford a Savannah, and let's just add another Temple Garden. Now let's have a quick look at EDH rec on whether I'm forgetting anything, because that's also always something that I recommend. To just take a quick look over EDH rec to just see if you forgot any really great cards that synergize with your commander. So we'll specifically not look at anything creature-wise. Yeah, obviously if you can afford fetch lands, put fetch lands in there, but as they are quite expensive, I wouldn't put them in right now. But if you want to afford fetch lands, now is probably the best time, because yeah, fetch lands just got reprinted. Oh yeah, also, do you have a Seedborn Muse in there? If not, I would really recommend it for you. No. So this one could be an interesting creature for you, because it untaps all your permanents in each other player's untap step. So it untaps your commander as well, so you can reuse her ability in each player's turn. So this one can be quite nice to add, but it's a bit on the expensive side, so I'm not going to add it at the moment. Does your commander grant haste? No. Now, since your commander doesn't grant haste, I would... you already run Wisdom of the Wild. Forget what I wanted to say. I never wanted to say anything. So let's go down here to our land base. And obviously Eldrazi Titans, Blightsteel Colossus, these are the more expensive options that you can get out. Okay, what? What do the Eldrazi Titans actually cost at the moment, since I have an Eldrazi deck lying around here? Emrakul. Just for my own curiosity. Emrakul, Ian's Torn. Okay, not that expensive, 20 euros. Next would be Ulamog. And we want the Infinite Gaia, so the original one. Okay, that one is on 27, and the last one is... What's the last Eldrazi Titan called? Kozilek, right, Kozilek. Kozilek. Butcher of Truths. So let's just... okay, got a little bit more expensive, so... not that cheap. Do you think giving my creatures flash shots such as Jiva, Nature's Herald is important in any way? It synergies with Seedborn Muse? Not really, since your commander's basically already giving your creatures flash. Since you don't need to play this as a sorcery, you can just play this before your turn starts, and then your creatures have pseudo flash with your commander. So you usually want to have 6 mana open for your commander, and that's basically locking your mana anyway, so no point in getting flash for your creatures. So I wouldn't do that, no. Okay, so now for lands. I'm still trying to scroll for the lands. Yeah, you can add some invulnerability stuff, obviously. You can add Generous Gift and Chaos Warp if you need any more universal removal. But that's not what we are looking for. Green Sun Zenith is another great tutor if you have a lot of mana available. Oh yeah, 2 more nice cards for you. Or 1 more nice card is Traverse the Outland. Again, expensive ramp. But you can search your library for X cards, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. So if you have a 15/15 Great Worm, you can actually search just for 15 lands. So that one is quite nice. Tribe of the Hordes gives you creatures infect. Great Hedge is a very cheap mana stone if you have big creatures. But also not the stuff we are searching for. Cream of the Crop, by the way, is also an enchantment that is rarely looked upon. Whenever a creature comes into play under your control, you may look at the top X cards of your library, where X is that creature's power, so quite a lot of cards. And then you choose 1 card, put it on top, and the other cards on the bottom of your library. So it gives you great, basically gives you really great draws if you have big creatures that you are playing. Congregation of Dawn. Yes, I think I saw that card, right? Where is it? Cheats. No, where did you put it? Let's just see if it's really in there. Congregation at Dawn. Yeah. So where is it? It should be in here. Here it is, in draw. Yeah, here it is. So we are still looking for lands mainly. Yeah, so the Mosswort Bridge is quite nice. If you're not already running it. Yeah, you're already running it. Just ignore this one. Oh yeah, Keswick Wolf Run. I also have this one. Oh yeah, right. I just put some lands here that you wanted, that you may want to play, because I have my land deck right next to me. So Keswick Wolf Run, oder Wolfsfahrt in Keswick, as the card is called in German. It does a neutral mana, which sucks, but it also allows you to just spend X, green and red, and then a creature of your choice gets plus X plus 0 and trample until end of turn. So with enough mana out, you could even win with commander damage if you're using this card, because if you can just buff your commander for, let's say, 9, it takes 2 attacks for you to kill someone with your commander. So this is an interesting card that you might... Oh, it's also... Why is it so cheap? I remember back in the Innistrad days, I think this card was 10 or 20 euros. Then again, the card that was legal then. Now you have the Homeward Pass. If you have issues with your creatures being stolen, so basically if an opponent regularly enchants your creatures to steal them from you, you can board in Homeward Pass to just gain control of your creatures back. If you don't have that issue, just ignore this card. Now, Slayer Stronghold could give you a hasty commander, but you don't really need this because it's getting quite expensive. If you have a lot of beast, Contested Cliffs can... Let's just see your beast count. Is Brainstorm too cute? This is not running blue the deck, or what? Brainstone, not Brainstorm. Let me just look up Brainstone. One mana, sacrifice it, draw 3 cards and put 2... Yeah, so it's basically a very expensive Brainstorm. I don't think you want to run it in this deck, since it's really only synergizing with your commander. And it's taking... So either you take up the early turns, or you can't get this on curve. And the early turns you want to ramp, so I really don't think this is worth it. But yeah, you can do this if you want to have even more control over here. So you want Sunholm, Fortress of the Legion, since it can grant one of your creatures double strike. And we were originally busy with Contested Cliffs and looking how many beasts you're actually wanting. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, this is a boar, not a beast, right? Yeah. 4, probably 5 if you beast within yourself. 6. This is an elephant. 6 beasts. It's also an elephant. So yeah, you have 6 beasts. You can consider actually adding Contested Cliffs, since you can tutor for stuff. Yeah, if you have lots of money to spare, Jami Java Hollow, Gaia's Cradle, and also Strip Mine, these are always great. So as I said, you want Sunholm, obviously, since it grants you double strike, an ability that most of your creatures don't have at the moment. And the nice thing is, with your RAM package, you can also tutor for those. So Sunholm. We already added Keswick Wolf Run. And yeah, I think if you don't ever have your creature stolen, you don't play Homeward Pass. Let's just add a Contested Cliffs for good. And then that should be a fine land base. And we'll just add some more base. Oh no, we're already on. Okay, now let's have a look here. 2 or more basic lands. Okay, so this one has dual land type, so it stays in Mount of Forest. Is okay, it's fine. Land, forest. Okay, so this one is yeah, so we want to get rid of this one, since you can need a tutor for it, nor does it have a land. Yeah, basically because you can tutor for it. And this one is just your most irrelevant mana colors. I think we also want to get rid of this one and just add one more of each basic land type. So with this land base, I think we want to... Yeah, so basically you have 3 options to go with the ramp now with the land base that we have here, which is not too expensive, but has some interesting options for you. Did I add a Rogue's Passage? Yeah, I added the Rogue's Passage, okay. So option 1 would be the 1+3 ramp, option 2 the 2+4 ramp, or if you just want consistency, so more consistent gameplay overall, but less consistent early commander turns, you could also mix them up and basically just look for the lands, for the cards that search for forests and just any land type. So specifically, if you want to get a more interesting lands, you get a 2+4 package, because you have some cards in here that just search for all the land types, which is obviously quite interesting. Because this allows you to just get out your double strike land or your unblockable land and so on. Yeah, and tutoring for lands is... Basically, lands can be really, really powerful, and once players realize this, they start to remove to play land removal. I don't think you're at a state yet, so I didn't add any removal lands here, but once you are at a certain state, you want to play stuff like Strip Mine or Ghost Quarters, whatever's in your budget, to just remove enemy critical lands. So yeah, here we have it. Are you happy with this, or do you want to have anything else in the deck, or do you want to discuss anything else? And also, if you didn't buy this deck yet, let me just have a real quick look at the creatures. If there's any cheap creature that I would really recommend you to play. What is actually Eversyn's price? Okay, this one is 3 euros, but probably not what you want to have. Okay, this one is 12 euros, so probably too expensive. Let's just have a look at some of the big creatures. Yeah, so Kodama, if you don't run it, is interesting. Also not too expensive, because it allows you to cheat in even more stuff. Yeah, Eversyn, I just searched for her. But mostly the Seed Bomb Muse. I think the Seed Bomb Muse is the big one that you want to play. So mostly the... You have... under cheats, okay. Alright. Yeah, mostly the Seed Bomb Muse, probably. This one can be really, really strong. And then just play the deck a couple of times, and if you need protection, just play protection. Yeah, you already have Lightning Greaves and Swiftfoot Boots. You are playing Rhythm of the Wild, which is fine, and Fires of Jamirava, which is also fine. So yeah, nothing much to say here. Yep, so basically that's fine. I looked at the categories I was supposed to look at. Is there a good ratio of small creatures to big creatures? Let's just see. So you are looking at the top 5 cards of your library. So you probably want at least 20% of... So yeah, 20% is basically 20 cards of your library to be big creatures. This wouldn't hit them consistently, so you wouldn't have one in each, but still, since you will start with 7 cards, so you have 7 cards down. Then you have, let's say, you activate her on turn 5, so you are 12 cards down. You went at least 2 times, so you're probably 15 cards down, so you have 85 cards left. Now 85 times over 2 is 17. So yeah, I think if you're running... I think I would run about 20 creatures still, 20 big creatures. I try that. If I don't have any library manipulation. Now, if you have library manipulation, and again, this one is getting expensive, Sylvan Library. This one is golden in your deck. basically it's a brainstorm in each of your turns. So you draw 2 additional cards, but then you need to put 2 cards from your hand onto your deck. Or pay 4 mana, 4 life for each of those cards. But basically the big one for you is that you can just put 2 cards back on your deck. And this will actually allow you to basically control whatever you are cheating in, because you can just put the cards back from your hand. And this will make it a lot more consistent, what you're doing here. So another thing, I don't know if Fierce Empires is tutoring something upon your deck or right into your hand. Now let's just... what are the Phyrexian guys called? The Phyrexian priests. No, that's not what I'm looking for. Phyrexian cycle. There's a cycle of Phyrexian cards, and the green one could be interesting. Choose. Oh crap, what's there? Oh yeah, Exarch, right. Exarch, green, MTG. So the Brutalizer Exarch, because I think, the Brutalizer Exarch, search your library for a creature card, reveal it and, right, the Brutalizer Exarch also puts a card on top of the library. Then again, he's also 6 mana, so probably you'll rather run something big right from the start. So not that good. I remember this guy's was costing less. Vulnerable Beast Tracker. As I said, I'm not that good with creature decks. Oh yeah, Vulnerable Beast Tracker for 3. For a creature card with Death Touch, Hexproof, Reach, or Trample, reveal it. Oh yeah, this also puts some of your nice creatures on top of your library. So that one would also work well. Yeah, 7 library can be quite good. Quite good. Especially if you run fetch lands, because then you can just shuffle away whatever you don't want to have, and yeah, 7 library is really good. I think we also only have 2 copies, and I have no clue. Is 1 7 library actually in my... Is there a Sylvan library in my Lands Matter deck? Or my land whatever deck? Yeah, it's in here. So I just found one of my decks running in Sylvan library. I have no clue where the other is. One of my tried Sylvala Explorer returns. Is this the mono green one that is just cheating out creatures like crazy? Sylvala Explorer return. No, this is the 2-color one. Same idea, okay. Yeah, if you have one, you could just try to put it in. I mean, if it's the only high strength card, it might be fine-ish. But yeah, just try that one out. Okay, so there we have it, and this took longer than I expected, so I will probably head to bed right now, because it's 1 o'clock in the night here. So, have fun and have a good night's sleep, and if you want me to have a look at the Spellslinger deck, just ping me there, and I will have a look at it tomorrow, I guess. So, have a nice day, and bye!